What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to do another video with my M3 here. Not sure if you watched the last video, the walk around I did on that car. I talked about how I already did the front rotors with PowerStop upgraded parts. So I just got my new rear kit in the mail. So we're going to bring this into the shop, get it jacked up, take the rear wheels off. We're going to replace the rotors, the pads, and we're going to just go ahead and paint the brake calipers red while we have it all apart. They were once painted red before. Need some paint now, so we're gonna take care of that. Also too, we'll get the parts out on the bench, take a look what everything comes with the kit. So if you ever decide to upgrade and go to PowerStop parts, you can take a look what comes with the kit. So let's get in the shop and get started. Okay, I just want to mention jacking points and procedure real quick. I just came in from the back and put the jack underneath the rear differential, jacked it up that way. You could also come in on this jack point here where I have the jack stand underneath there. There's usually like a rubber pad. You can put the jack on or the jack stand, you can set it underneath that. If your car doesn't have one, the frame, the chassis point there is fine to put the jack stand on too. Okay, now I got the car jacked up, jack stands underneath of it, and the wheel off. You can see this rotor is actually relatively newer, and there's the M3 caliper, and you can actually see my BC Racing coilovers in there. So what we're gonna do is remove this 6mm Allen head socket. You'll need to take that out, and then the caliper's held on. You'll need two 16mm bolts holding that caliper on. So first we'll take the caliper off, then we'll unbolt the rotor, and then we'll start putting our new stuff back together. Take that caliper off, sand it down a little bit, tape it off, tape the wheel well off so we don't have overspray on it, and just put a new coat of red paint on that. Okay, we're gonna use a 16mm socket, shallow socket, and 3/8 ratchet to get the caliper bolts off. Now 6mm Allen socket. Set that bolt off to the side. Sometimes you may have to smack the face of the rotor here. It's off nice and easy. So now I'm going to just bring the caliper up, pull the spring off. Pull the old pads out. I'm going to disconnect the sensor from the pad. The inside pad out. And now I'm gonna just slide the caliper mount bracket out like so. And now I'm going to push the piston back in the caliper. You can either use a C-clamp. I usually use large channel locks just to kind of grab them. Push it all the way back in there. Now's a good time to get a can of brake clean. Spray all this down in here, get all the brake dust off, spray the caliper down really good, and then we're gonna scuff it up, tape everything off back here, and paint it. So we'll go to the other side and remove everything. Okay, now I got everything kind of taped up. I'm just gonna brake clean the backing plate, the e-brake, and the caliper to get all that brake dust off. I also have the caliper brackets right there, which I'm just gonna spray down, brake clean, and then I'm gonna tape off these slides here and get these all ready for paint. Okay, as you can see, I got everything all masked off and taped up here. I just use like basic stuff. So brown paper to back tape everything here. I just use black trash bags to tuck over the hub assembly, and I just kind of draped the caliper over it. This is probably like the fastest way to paint your brake calipers that turns out decent still. I mean, the proper way would be to take them off and clean them off and paint them, you know, separately, a way where you can get everything off. So I just taped everything off. I taped the seal around the piston, the bleeder, and the hose off. So we're just gonna go ahead and start painting this and let it hang, let it dry, and then rotate it and paint it. It's gonna take a little bit longer, but it's just better than taking it apart, having to bleed the system and stuff like that. And I also just ordered a basic caliper paint. You can get these from any auto parts store, or I ordered this off of Amazon, which works pretty good. I've used this like multiple times on a lot of my cars. It works good. Just gonna dust the first little coat on there and let that just tack up, give it a good base. And then we'll go over and spray the caliper brackets. I have them separate. I've set the caliper brackets taped off and I have them sanded and cleaned really well. I'm just gonna lay a light base coat of paint on this, and then we're gonna stick them out in the sun, let them just kind of tack up before we put a second coat. All right, so this rear brake rotor and pad kit was $139.99 with free shipping. And I believe the front ones are roughly the same, maybe a couple dollars more. So this is just the basic street kit that I got. I'm running the same one in the front of the car, so I didn't want to change it up, but you can also get different options for autocross or racing. Okay, so I have everything out of the box here. You can see there are the two rotors for the rear that are cross-drilled. And then here are the pads, carbon fiber ceramic, and then there is the brake sensor that comes with it. So let's open up the pads, take a look. So it comes with the bushings for the caliper springs, and then rear pads, and then the assembly lube. So I got all this off of Amazon. If you go on PowerStop's website, you can type in like year and model of your car, and then it gives you options like either Amazon, I think Summit Racing, Rock Auto, AutoZone, where you can order them from. I ended up ordering these through Amazon. Usually they have like the fastest shipping anyway. So that's what comes with that for the rear. And the front's pretty much the same. When I did the front ones, everything looks the same as well. So yeah, so we're gonna get these on the car now and take a look. Okay, now I got the caliper painted. I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back together. I'm gonna start putting the rotor on, and then we're gonna load the caliper with the brake pads. The rotors are labeled for left and right side. This is the passenger side, obviously. All right, now I'm going to add some of this silicone lubricant that they provide you in the kit to the slides here. Just smear that all the way around. All right, now we're gonna slide the caliper bracket into the caliper. Add the rear brake pad. Make sure that's seated back. Now the front one. All right, at this point, I'm gonna put the caliper on the rotor here, and then I'll put the spring on it afterwards. Snug up those bolts, and now we're going to put the spring on. That's it. Give you an up close view here. What that turned out. It's pretty nice. A lot better than it was before. Caliper's nice and painted. So we're going to go ahead and button up the other side and get this on the ground. All right, so there's the driver's side, all buttoned up, all nice and shiny and new. I had already done this, but usually when you put new rotors on, they have like an oil coating on them. So just take some brake cleaner on a clean rag and wipe down the front face and the rear face of the rotor as well. And the most important tip too, after you do any brakes, first thing always is go in and pump the brakes up. Since you push the piston in, there's no pressure on these rears. So don't forget to pump up the brake pedal. All right, so that about wraps it up. So there's the rear done. And now you can see the front. They just look a little dirtier than the rear. But what are you gonna do? So that's it for this video. So thank you guys for watching again, and let me know what you think about the PowerStop brakes, and also if you have any other ideas what we could do to the M3. So thanks again.